Hi guys, should Donald Trump be extended the privilege of addressing both houses of Parliament, the Commons and the Lords? This is something being talked about happening either during his trip to the UK in September or part of an official state visit later in his term. Organisations have begun preparing for massive protests against Trump, but if the president comes to Britain anyway, would it be right to allow him to address Parliament? Political commentator Jemma Forte certainly thinks not.
The US is in absolute chaos at the moment. There's been hundreds of thousands of people in places from as far as Utah to Ohio to New York protesting what is happening there right now. Their economy is in turmoil. Just now, basically, their beef isn't being bought anymore by China, who are now going to Australia to buy their beef. You know, I mean, who knows where we'll be at come the autumn. He's only been in 90 days, and we are affording him a state visit. That is a huge honour, and that should be enough soft power.
Shouldn't we hear what he has to say,
suck up
though?
to the narcissist.
I want to hear what Trump's got to say.
So him
Good
coming
or bad?
over in the first, I don't. Him coming over, we hear it every flipping day. Coming over is hugely controversial, actually, and there are going to be protests on the ground, as there were in 2018. I think then allowing him the privilege of standing in our parliament, which for better or worse, you know, it did try its best with a liar like Johnson. We try to seek to uphold a certain style of political discourse that does get called out by the Speaker. We need to preserve the integrity of our democratic institutions and not undermine its values. This man has said things like called Mexican rapists. He's said so many terrible, disgusting things within his discourse. You know, he's just failed another 93% of his legal challenges have failed. So now he can't send people to Venezuela.
Let's talk.
Okay, look, there are two reasons why people are putting forward, reasons in support of allowing Trump a state visit and the extension of speaking to Parliament. And one of them is security and the other is trade. Well, we need to keep the Americans on side because we trade with them, and we need to keep them on side for security reasons. You know, they're the world's policeman. Okay, well, what have we seen recently? Well, when it comes to trade, Trump imposed tariffs of 10% baseline and 25% when it came to cars on the UK, like other countries around the world. So the special relationship when it comes to trade means absolutely nothing. And we had recently the Defense Secretary leaking information, sharing sensitive information with his family on a social media platform or on a WhatsApp type platform. These are not people who are serious. These are not people you can do trade with. These are not people you can share sensitive military intelligence with. I'm talking about the Trump administration. I'm not talking about the American people here. I'm talking about the current Trump administration. It's not safe to share military intelligence with them. And what's the point in kissing Donald Trump's behind when it comes to trade when he doesn't give a crap about the UK? So what is the value of a state visit, and what's the extended value of allowing him to speak to both chambers, the House of Lords and the House of Commons? What is the point in that? Now, is it actually going to happen? It probably will. I don't see it cancelled. I don't see it not happening. It's a pointless exercise. What'll happen is Donald Trump will speak and then probably leave, and then members of Parliament will debate it. The Conservatives will commend Donald Trump. Maybe some people from the Labour government will condone Donald Trump, commend him, and then members of other parties will condemn him, and nothing will really happen. Donald Trump will not be there to answer questions, really. There will not be a back and forth. He will not get grilled. It will be a pointless exercise. Addressing Parliament is supposed to be something important. Donald Trump will see it as an opportunity where people are going to kiss his backside. And he'll probably embarrass the UK while he's doing so. Now, is it going to happen? Yes, it will. Because the government are not going to, if they are going down this road, they're not going to U-turn on it. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to push out the state visit as late as possible, you know, with the hope that perhaps Donald Trump will forget about it or he will be replaced or he will resign or something will happen that Donald Trump is no longer in charge to avoid the embarrassment of that. Or maybe that maybe he will U-turn. Maybe he will become a better president. Maybe that's the hope that Keir Starmer's administration has. I don't see that happening, but we'll have to wait and see. But a state visit is a terrible idea. Extending the idea of him speaking to Parliament is even worse. But at the end of the day, it's probably going to happen. People will protest outside Parliament. Trump won't see the protests. And even if he did, it's not going to make any difference to him. Not that people should not protest. People should protest. This is the right that they have. In the United States, the right to protest, especially against Donald Trump, is becoming more and more difficult. This is a guy and his administration who keep talking about freedom of expression, freedom of speech. They have criticized the UK and the European Union on the issue of freedom of expression, while at the same time punishing universities where freedom of expression is core. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.